Hello, my friends. It's Matthew Street. Welcome to my channel. As always, I truly appreciate being here. And before I get started, folks, any of you that pay attention will notice that my new background is done. So I will sway side to side so you can see, because there's a couple of images you won't get to see with me in the way. But I want to make sure you see Anna Frida, my love, from ABBA back there. I want to make sure you see the greatest basketball player. Well, him and Larry Bird. Larry Bird's up there. But Michael Jordan, okay? Him and Larry, my two favorite basketball players. Georgie Harrison, right there, see? And, oh, young Matthew Street with my Beatle haircut right there, okay? So you get the idea. Anyway, folks, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate it. And you know, folks, I was recently thinking about Paul McCartney. And you know what? You have to put Paul in the category, if not number one, he's in the top batch of the greatest solo musical artist of all time. Yes, you could throw Elvis in the mix, you could throw Michael Jackson up there in the mix, Elton John, Frank Sinatra. You know, there's a few more biggies, solo artists we can say are up there, but Paul has to be in that conversation, folks. Obviously, the Beatles as a whole are the greatest musical act of all time. Sorry, Elvis, but I love Elvis. He's up there too. But the Beatles, in my opinion, I mean, culturally, socially, musically, the Beatles are number one. Okay, so let's just be honest. But anyway, folks, Paul has to be in the conversation of greatest solo artists. So I started thinking, what are some of the greatest, most trending, most listened to Paul McCartney songs? Now, in the past, I always wondered that because we didn't have the technology in the past to know what's trending. You know, the word trending didn't even really exist when I was younger. What is trending with Paul? I couldn't find that out back in the 70s, 80s, even into the 90s. I had no clue. There was no way to go look it up and find out. You had to go by charts, or what were his number one hits, how many weeks, blah, 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 blah. And that's true. Those, you know, the biggest sales, biggest number ones are some of his greatest hits. But what are people listening to now, today? Well, now we have what's called streaming services. For anyone who's been living under a rock. And things like Tidal and Apple Music and Spotify. And they do real-time trending of what is being listened to or streamed at the moment. And they're always changing. The numbers keep going up, up, and up. And we can determine very much so, down to pretty much pinpoint accuracy, what are people listening to by a particular artist. Now, I understand I don't have all the streaming services, so what's on Spotify could be different from Apple Music, could be different from another streaming service. I get it. And then you have to total those all together to get a really true picture of how many millions and billions of times a particular song is being listened to. But for fun, since Matthew Street has Spotify, I went to Spotify a little while ago to get the top 10 streaming songs of Paul McCartney. So I thought I'd share it with you. We'd have a little fun, see what you think of this list, and we'll go from there. Now, on this list, it goes from the 10th, which has approximately 200,000 million streams, all the way up to the number one song streamed by Paul McCartney, which is 1,226,000,000, 20,000 and blah, 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 of something streams. So it's a big, wide range from his number 10 to his number one. And I'm a little disappointed with this list, I have to admit. Well, it's like this. There's some great stuff on this list that I went, yep, figures, that should be on there. But then there's a few on here, folks. See what you think. I'm a little bit questioning. I'm like, I don't really like seeing that in the top 10 most streamed songs of Paul McCartney. But what are you going to do? Okay, it's not up to us dedicated diehard fans. It's everybody listening. All right? So, number 10 is Ebony and Ivory. What I'm also going to do is put an image up here of what Spotify has, at least my streaming service, considers to be the album or picture that best represents the song. So if you see a weird picture up here and go, how does that fit that song? That's what Spotify had up. That's what I'm putting up here. So Ebony and Ivory is number 10 from his Tug of War album. as I said, the number 10 song has 69,296,000 streams. And that's a lot. That's a lot. And as you know, with Stevie Wonder, duet with Stevie, big smash for Paul. Obviously, number one for numerous weeks back in 1982. And I can see it being on this list of most streamed Paul McCartney songs because it's just such a big popular song. Now, the number 9 song is the first one that disappoints me. It's the Kiss of Venus. But if it was the regular Kiss of Venus from McCartney 3, I might go, hey, pretty good. Paul's got a recent song in the top 10 most streamed tracks that people are digging, trending at the moment. It's the Dominic Fike version from Reimagined. Yep. It's got 72 million plus streams, and it made number 9. Bummed me out, folks, that this has to be on Paul's top 10 most streamed songs list. But anyway, what are you going to do? Number 8, and this one is a good one. It deserves to be on here. Number 1 hit for Paul and Linda. Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey. It's a number 8 most streamed song. Millions and millions of streams, and it deserves it. The number 7 most streamed McCartney song, and I think they should have put Red Rose Speedway as the image, but they put this, so whatever, is My Love. Number 7 is My Love. Millions and millions of streams, and number 1 track, and it does deserve to be up here. Now, the number 6 most streamed McCartney song is Maybe I'm Amazed. 152 million plus streams on Maybe I'm Amazed. I mean, well deserved. The live version made number 10, but the song itself has grown in stature over the years. Never released as a single back in 1970 from the McCartney album, but that's the image they chose for it, and it's just it's just grown. I think it's grown in status over the years. People really admire the song and love what Paul did with that song. So number 6. Number 5, and I don't know if they're including all the versions of it, but on Spotify they're listed as Live and Let Die Live. Now I don't know if that includes 76, Wings Over America, but the image they chose was this, whatever. They said Live and Let Die live version has 183 million plus streams. So it is a song that does deserve to be, it's one of his most beloved rock and roll tracks. Number 4, I'm a little disappointed, and I get it. It was a big smash hit in 1983. Duet with Michael Jackson, got that whole thing. But it's Say, Say, Say from Pipes of Peace is number 4. And it's got millions and millions and millions of streams. And I guess it does deserve to be on here because of its status. Number 1 for 6 weeks or something. So what are you going to do? The next one I'm very impressed with, and I do think this should have been his number 1. Will you hear what number 2 and number 1 are? But Band on the Run absolutely deserves this placement, and it should be 1 or 2. 368,000 plus streams of Band on the Run, and it's well deserved. Probably one of the greatest solo McCartney songs of all time. All right, now that's where it should end. That should be number 1, but unfortunately, the way things work in this day and age, there's a couple of other songs that have streamed bigger than any of Paul's other solo songs. Yes, number 2, but I get it. The holidays, everyone goes nuts listening to it. Wonderful Christmas Time made number 2 most popular stream Paul McCartney song. Yes, 597 million, just under 600 million, 653,000 streams of Wonderful Christmas Time. We can't get enough of it, right? Anyway, folks, I get it. The holidays, especially it's only been a couple of months since the last holiday season. I'm sure that jacked it up millions or more. But anyway, what are you going to do? But the number one really makes me want to barf, take a little hat here and go, ugh! I'm sorry. Tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think this should be the number one. It's Paul McCartney, Kanye, and Rihanna with 4 or 5 seconds. Really? This is what I have to see? This is what I have to deal with as the number one most streamed Paul McCartney song of all time? 1,226,020,117 streams of 4 or 5 seconds. I'm sorry, but then if I say, oh, take it off because it's not just a pure Paul solo track, then people could say, well, then Matt, we got to take off Say, Say, Say. Michael's on that one. Matt, we got to take off Ebony and Ivory. Stevie's on that one. I get it, folks. I think Ebony and Ivory and Say, 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 they deserve to be on a streaming list of Paul's songs. But 4 or 5 seconds where I think he just strums a guitar on it. He might have helped writing it a little bit. But is he really the featured artist on it? Is he singing? Is he vocal? I don't know. Whatever. It's the number one Paul McCartney stream song on Spotify, and I'm sure on every other streaming service as well. So that's it, folks. I just wanted to have a little fun and say hello to you today. Wish you all well. Thank you for being here. And I will be back very soon. I might have a little fun and do this with the other solo Beatles. You never know. And maybe some other artists as well. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.